I'm still here. And on a very pleasant Saturday afternoon, we welcome you to Veterans Stadium here at Long Beach City College for LBCC Viking Productions presents SCFA football. We have a great matchup this afternoon as the visiting Southwestern College Jaguars come into town to take on your Long Beach City College Vikings. Hi again, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Edward Rentasa coming to you here from Veterans Stadium as we get set for kickoff here momentarily. The Vikings coming in with a record of 0-2 under first-year head coach Marcus Cooper, looking to get their first win of the season. Last Saturday, the Vikings lost their home opener to Mount San Jacinto 52-20. Vikings looking to get their first win this afternoon. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, under first-year head coach Oscar Rodriguez, who is the 12th coach to be named in the program's history, has his team off to a 2-0 record, as last Saturday they destroyed Orange Coast 71-10. 3 touchdown passes by their starting quarterback Ty McCutcheon, looking to continue on that streak. Jaguars coming in 2 wins in a row. And here come the Vikings. Jaguars won the toss but decide to defer, so they'll kick off first. Jaguars in their white jerseys, black helmet, black pants. Your Vikings wearing red jerseys, red pants, and their traditional Viking helmets, as they'll get the ball to start off the first quarter. Talked about the Vikings 0-2 record. They started 0-2 for the 3rd year in a row. Last season they started 0-2. They went on a 5-game win streak, finishing 6-5 and just missing out on the playoffs. As we're underway here at Vet Stadium, picked up at the 9. And we tackled down at about the 18-yard line. Looks like that was Lyndon Hodge, the returner. The Vikings will go to work here in this first possession. Quarterback Wyatt McCauley will lead the Vikings out there. Last week, 15 of 34 for 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 2 touchdowns came in the second half, as they'll go on a 3 wide receiver, close I formation. 1st and 10. Handoff to Devin Samples, and he'll get a good gain on first down near the 30-yard line. Should be enough for a first down, 10 yards on the carry. Samples had 12 rushes for 36 yards, and the loss last week to the Eagles. So right off the bat, they get a first down on the first play. Ball's going to be at the 29, 1st and 10. Man in motion. Justin Otson goes in motion to the left. McCauley will throw. Has up receiver and completes. Hezekiah Robinson on the catch. Quick slant. Looks like he'll pick up about 8 yards. And it looks like he took a hit at near when he caught the ball. He's coming out to the sideline. Also, Michael Wilson is coming out. So they're going with a different formation. Gain of 8 on that last play. And they're setting up. It's like a 4-3 defense by the Jaguars. Man in motion here on 2nd and 8. Samples with the carry. And he follows his tackle, and looks like he's going to get close to that first down yard. From what we can see, it looks like it's enough. It looks like they are going to give him the first down. So another first down for the Vikings. Robinson comes back in. Just underway here at the Vet. Vikings coming in, looking for their first win of this 2025 season. Jaguars looking to extend their win streak to 3 games in a row. Communication from the sidelines. 5 wide receivers here, empty backfield for McCauley. He's going to throw on first down. Incomplete, intended for Robinson. He had good pass protection on that last play. So it'll be second down. McCauley threw 3 touchdowns last week, but had 2 costly interceptions in the loss to the Eagles. Owen Tomic had the best game last week, 9 catches, 178 with 3 touchdowns. Second down, throw, pass is caught to Justin Oxton, and he's going to have a bit of running room out of bounds inside Jaguar territory. That'll be another first down for Long Beach City College Vikings. Vikings coming out strong in this opening drive. They did have a short field last week against the Eagles on their opening possession, scored a touchdown, looking to get another opening score here this afternoon. From the 43, Samples, oh no, it's a fake. Pass incomplete. And it looks like that was intended for Tomic. Had a good game last week against the Eagles. That looked like almost a handoff by Samples, but it was a fake handoff play action pass. Tomic unable to make the catch, so it'll be second down. Weather is cloudy with 73 degrees. Not much wind right now. Shouldn't affect much of the game today. Colley will throw on second down, and he's going to take a sack. Jaguars are saying that the ball's out, and it is. They say they have it, and they do. Turnover on the sack. Now the Jaguars are going to have good field position in Vikings territory. Dennis on the recovery. Now we'll see Southwest offense go to work. So we have a replay of the sack and contact near the helmet there. And the ball came out. See the battle for the ball. So we return to live action. So now the Jaguars will get the ball and go to work with good field position on first down. Play action. Throws deep, has a man open, complete. 10-5, touchdown, Jaguars. Israel Clinton Thomas Jr. on the catch. And just right off the bat, the Jaguars strike first this afternoon. So we take a look at the replay. Tyler Becker, the quarterback, play action, first down, know where he was going, threw it deep. You see wide open, not a Viking close. And they take advantage. Clint Thomas Jr. wide open on that last play, as the extra point is good. So one play, one touchdown.
Offense, number 58.
And we have a penalty marker on the field, so that's going to back up the Jaguars 5 yards. Referee today, Tony Clayton. Umpire, Jeffrey Osborne. Head linesman, Carmen Hillman. Line judge, Sandra Cover. Field judge,
Correction on the call.
Amara Leonard.
Disconcerting signals on the defense. Half the distance to go.
And that's going to be against the Vikings. Side judge, Joe Garcia, and back judge is Ronald Kelly, your officials for this afternoon's game. Meanwhile, that last play against Long Beach, it's going to move the ball up 1 yard. The point after was good, so they'll kick again. But it looks like it was before the snap, so that last one won't count. The kick is good. One play, one turnover, and the Jaguars take advantage of one play. Becker to his receiver, Clint Thomas. Right off the bat, 12:05 left in the opening quarter. Jaguars 7, Vikings 0. See if the Vikings are able to offense another drive. They had the ball going, but the turnover really hurt them. So we have so we take another look at the touchdown pass. Nice play action fake there by the Jaguars, and you see Becker just throws it deep down. The long distance call completed with no issues. I'm sure they'll be happy to pay that collect call bill. So they get the score in one play, and the Vikings will get the ball back. And we get set for kickoff. Ball is kicked. Return at the 2-yard line for the Vikings. Oh, contact. And he's going to get dropped back, and another fumble, looks like they're saying. No. What a hit that was. I think there's Lyndon Hodge on the return. Yeah, it looked like he went back a couple yards after contact made. In the event, the ball will be at the 15. Vikings will go back to work, down 7. As the sun is starting to come out here at Vet Stadium, it was cloudy for most of the day. But we see a little bit of sunlight on the Vikings side of the field.
Please set the play clock to 25 seconds.
As we get a play clock reset. As they get ready to go back to work here. Still a bit of a delay waiting for that play clock to be reset. And it looks like they're going to reset it, and it's like they'll be set to go from here. There's a signal. 1st and 10 from the 15. 4 receivers. Pass is complete. Tomic. And it looks like for the Vikings, Alan Fournette is in at quarterback. After the last turnover by McCauley, he is on the sideline. So very quickly, a quarterback change made for Long Beach. That last pass was for 6 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 4. Looks like Fournette is still in at quarterback. Samples is with him, and 3 wide receivers on the left side, and Samples will get it here on 2nd down. And he's only going to get a short gain, which will bring back 3rd down. I'm actually watching McCauley. He is on the sideline. Not sure if he was injured on that sack and fumble. But it looks like contact was made towards the neck on that sack. We hope he's okay. Meanwhile, there's a stoppage, and the Vikings will call timeout.
Timeout. Long Beach. That's their first charge timeout.
So the Vikings will use their first timeout here. 10:44 remaining in the opening quarter. Score is Jaguars 7, Vikings 0. Vikings looking to capitalize on a 3rd down and 3 from their 22-yard line. If you had just joined us late, Vikings had the opening possession, marching towards down the field, but a sack and fumble recovery. And in one play, the Jaguars capitalize on that turnover. Pass. So we see the first catch here is a replay. This was Fournette's first completion of the afternoon. Nice catch there by Tomic as we return back to live action. So after the turnover, in one play, Becker hits his receiver, Clint Thomas, for the touchdown, and right now we stand at 7-0. 3rd and 22 for the Vikings, or 3rd and 3, excuse me, at the 22. You're going with 3 wide receivers. Samples is the running back. Here is the pass, quick pass to the left side. Pass is caught. Pass is caught by Austin and gets a little bit of running room. Tackled near the 35. That'll be a 1st down.
That pass complete to Justin Austin, brought down by Chancellor Chapa.
Austin gets the 1st down pass. Vikings had 4 turnovers last week against the Eagles, looking to avoid those mistakes this afternoon. 1st down, quick pass, complete to Tomic, gets away from one guy, gets away from another, still on his feet, down to about the 39-yard line.
That's complete to Owen Tomic.
Tomic, great strength there, staying on his feet.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Mentioned he had a big game last Saturday, almost 200 yards. He had 9 receptions for a $178. That means he was all over the field last week. 2nd and 6 for Net. Now he gets away. Can't get away from the second guy. He's tackled by Carson Curtis, the defensive lineman, in his first season with the Jaguars, freshman.
Carson Curtis makes the stop. 3rd and 6.
So it'll be 3rd and 6 at the 39. He did convert on the 3rd down earlier in his drive. See if they can go 2 for 2. With 3 wide receivers, looks like the Jaguars might bring in some pressure. Here they come. Quick handout to Samples, and the Jaguars deny them. It's like that's Carson again. Carson Curtis on the stop. So quick 3 and out for the Vikings. Not able to continue to move the ball, so they'll punt it here for the first time this afternoon.
Loss of 2 on the play. 4th and
Vikings will punt here. Three and out. So the Jaguars will get the ball back up 7. And here is the punt by Ramirez. It's going to take a little bit of Viking bounce. And they'll down it at about the 33-yard line. So the Jaguars will take the ball, or take the field again after scoring on 1 play in their last drive.
10 for the Jaguars. Ball at their own 33-yard line.
We mentioned their quarterback, Ty McCutcheon. Last week, 10 of 12 for 168, 3 touchdowns in that 71-10 win against Orange Coast. This time they'll hand it off on 1st down, and what a lot of gain yardage right there. It looks like they're going to go on a no huddle. Jamari Ashby-Fan. Quick pass complete. Now they're in Viking territory. Clint Thomas, the receiver who caught that touchdown pass on the first possession, on the first drive, on the first play for them, for the Jaguars. As you take a look at the Vikings
Personal
offense.
foul, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
And the late penalty marker
Number
came
23.
in. Personal foul on the Vikings. That's on Jordan Roger Snyder, the linebacker. Late hit out of bounds, so that's going to give the Jaguars an extra 15 yards. Costly penalties are really hurting the Vikings. Penalties hurt them as well last Saturday against the Eagles. So the ball will now be at the 33, 1st and 10. Man in motion. Looks like that's Jefferson, the tight end. Pocket collapses. And there is the strength of the quarterback. McCutcheon gets some good yardage on 1st down. Didn't see anybody open, so he took off. Pressure there by the Vikings defense. So we'll give him 6 yards on that carry, which will bring up 2nd down with 4 yards to go from the 27. 3 wide receivers. Vikings show pressure. Cutchin is going to throw it. Incomplete. Looks like that pass was intended for Nate Clyde, the receiver. Nate Clyde, the sophomore. So we take a look. Look at the replay. Getting protection by the Jaguars offense, and it's like a miscommunication on the route there by Klein. So 3rd and 4 from the 27. Vikings looked at the good pressure. And that quarterback draw, still on his feet, gets the 1st down, down inside the 20 to the 16. by the quarterback, Ty McCutcheon.
Braden Silver with Hayden Dreamer. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars.
So the Jaguars threatening to score
6-yard line.
with 6:08 and counting here in the opening quarter. Bit of a confusion there by the receivers. Look out for 84. He was a big playmaker in the last drive. 1st down. Fan is going to take it near the 10. So it'll be 1st down or 2nd down coming up here for the Jaguars.
Ashby Fan with the carry. Jaron Floyd in on the stop. Gain of 5.
So 5 yards on that first play. Jaguars looking to go and add more to their points. 2nd down and 5 from the 11. Vikings going on a, looks like a 4-3 defense, and here they come. Cutchin's going to get out of the way. Now he's going to run it. Runs into one defender. 4 more jump in, and they'll stop him near the 10. So not much on that play.
Silver with the carry. Gain of 1.
As we take a look at the replay of that last run, see Ty just runs it. Can't get past the first defender, and everyone else comes in and pretty much introduces himself to him. So 3rd and 5 from the 11. Ty will throw. Throws towards the end zone. And that pass is caught for the touchdown. Josiah Jefferson, sophomore. And the Jaguars capitalize again, and now they add to their lead with the score 13-0. So we take another look at that touchdown pass. Good pass protection. Ty throws. Jefferson in the middle between 2 Viking defenders. Makes the catch. A little bit of contact after the catch, but he's able to hold on for the touchdown. Here's the extra point after. Point after is good. With 4 minutes and 30 seconds, the score is the Jaguars 14, your Vikings 0. Two quick scores for the Jaguars. That last play was 8 plays on 67 yards. Looks like it was about 4 minutes and 29 seconds of that last possession, as we have a replay of the touchdown pass. Right down the middle, and again between 2 Viking defenders. Jefferson with the catch. So Vikings will get the ball back. Lyndon Hodge ready to return, as the sun has completely not come out here at Veterans Stadium. Mentioned it was cloudy for most of the morning, probably about midday now. A little after 1:30, it's now sunny. And this will be picked up from the end zone. To the 20, 30, still on his feet, down to the 30, about the 34-yard line is Lyndon Hodge. A good return. Set up the Vikings with good field position. So we have a replay of that kickoff. Take another look at this kickoff. Hodge grabs it from the end zone. He was 2 yards in. Saw the open hole, missed a tackle. Good blocking there by the Vikings. They'll mark this at the 33. And it looks like Fournette is still in at quarterback. Throws on 1st down. No, he keeps it. So it looks like it's going to go down as a loss. Now they're saying incomplete pass. So Alan Fernandez doing at quarterback, the sophomore out of Dalville, Texas. Dalville High School. In his second season here with Long Beach. Trying to do the hard count. Samples on the carry. And it looks like he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll set up a third down for the Vikings. Coming up on 4 minutes in the opening quarter. Jaguars taking advantage of some miscues. Talked about the sack and fumble. And then the offense went 3 and out in the next possession. So they face a third down. Fournette now throws to his right. Can't complete the pass. Incomplete out of bounds. And it'll be fourth down. Tomic, the intended receiver. So it'll be another 3 and out here for the Vikings. Down 14. 3:39 in the opening quarter. They'll punt. Communication, and it looks like a stoppage in play.
Timeout. Southwestern. That's their first charge timeout of the half.
And the Jaguars are going to call timeout with 3:39 left in the opening quarter. Score 14-0. And we're going to show you a replay of the last play. Fournette rolls to his right. Again, throws, and Tomic tried to make the completion but cannot. Play broken up there by Dylan's Eads. Now we resume back to live action. The Vikings will punt and give the Jaguars another opportunity to get points on the board. And here's a punt. Short kick, takes a bounce, and it looks like it's going to get down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. So no return for Klein this time around. And here comes the Vikings defense coming back on the field. And the Jaguars are going to get their third possession here in the first quarter. They got the first touchdown on one play, and then it took 8 plays in the last drive to get the other touchdown. They'll spot the ball at the 29-yard line, first down. 3 wide receivers for the Jaguars. Man in motion, Jefferson's in motion. Ty will hand off on first down. And a good start. It's Khalid Blocker. He had a big game last week against Orange Coast, rushing 9 times for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's showing off what he did last week, picking up 7 on his first carry. 4 receivers, 3 bundle on the right side. Ty will throw on second down. Quick pass. Oh, there's a ball. The ball's loose. But they're saying incomplete. He did not have possession. Tyler Becker was the intended receiver. He had it, but then the ball dropped. But they're saying he did not complete a football move. Not enough possession there to rule a fumble as we have a replay. See, Becker has it, though he looks like he took about 2 steps. Did he make a football move? Normally you have to turn around and take about 2-3 steps, and they'll consider that a catch. Yeah, that one's very close, can't tell. Ty will throw on third down. Pass is broken up by the Vikings. So a big stop there for Long Beach. Looks like that's Cordell Montgomery. Pass deflected. Jefferson was the intended receiver on that last pass. So the Vikings get a victory on defense, and now the Jaguars will punt for the first time here this afternoon. So after going 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, offense stalls on the third possession. Here comes the punt. That one is going to be short. Takes a little bit of a Jaguar bounce. Now it's going towards the 22. So the Vikings will have the ball inside the 20. Down by 14. 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Mentioned earlier that Coach Oscar Rodriguez is a new coach. He was named the 12th coach in his program's history on February 27th of this year. And he comes from a good background at the universities. Spent the last 2 years as a member of a staff at the University of Kansas. He also had coaching experience at the University of Laverne. As we have a first down carry here. Looks like that's Hodge on the carry. Coach Rodriguez, coach at the University of Laverne. He also is known for coaching 8 players who went on to the NFL. Can you guess one of those players that he's coached? I can tell you that right after this play. Second down. Fournette will throw. Pass is caught. Caught by Austin. Be a short gain. So one of the players that's been known to be coached by Coach Rodriguez is Tyreek Hill, former Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs and currently member of the Miami Dolphins. He's one of 8 players that was coached by Coach Rodriguez. So he's known to coach former players now in the NFL, 8 of them. Pretty amazing. 3rd and 3. It's time to go on a handoff. And they may have enough for the first down. It looks like that's Hodge again on the carry. As we approach 1 minute left in the first quarter. And looks like there might be a measurement. Viking players are saying it's a first down, but they have called for a measurement, so they'll measure. So we take a look at a replay of the last play. And the hard count there by Fournette. Hodge picks it up, goes up the middle, dodges a tackler. Able to stay on his feet. That was Curtis that he got passed by. And he's short. So they will not give him the first down. It'll be 4th and 1, 4th and about inches. And let's see if the Vikings will decide to go for it. And Fournette in the offense is still on the field. Are they remeasuring again? It's like they're remeasuring again. So it'll be 4th down in inches. And it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field. They're going to say, forget it, let's go for it. We're down 14. We got to get something going here. See if they'll try to draw off sides. Clock is ticking. See if they'll try to get the Jaguars on the hard count. Here we go, 4th and inches. And it looks like they may have enough for the first down. Hodge again on the carry. Samples is normally the starting running back for the Vikings, but the last few plays, it looks like Hodge has been carrying the ball. So a little bit of a rotation here at the running back position. Hodge getting some playing time. Normally he's a returner for the Vikings. Still in at running back. So first and 10 from the 33. Hodge again will get it on first down. And he's met up by a couple of Jaguars on the other side. Might have gotten a gain of 1 or 2 as we wind down the final seconds here in the first quarter.
Hodge with the carry. Met by Nico Tom.
And it looks like we have reached the end of the first quarter here at Veterans Stadium. So after 15 minutes of play, the score is the Jaguars 14, Vikings 0. As we switch sides and we start the second quarter. Southwestern coming in at 2-0, looking to win their third game in a row. Meanwhile, the Vikings are trying to get their first win of the season. Vikings trying to get their first win of the season under new coach Marcus Cooper. And he was named the new coach in March of this year, after this team was under Brett Peabody for 12 years. Really turned around this program. As we get set to begin the second quarter. Vikings lost their home opener last week to the Eagles, 52-20. They'll be on the road for their next game in Saddleback. So they would like to get one win here before they go on the road. Second of back-to-back games for the Vikings here at the Vet. They lost their opener in week 1 to Riverside. As we start the second quarter, Samples is in. Gets away from one tackler, and he'll pick up a good chunk of yards there. Mentioned in week 1, they lost to Riverside, out of Riverside, scoring over 500 yards of offense. They actually put up 500 plus yards on offense, but defense gave up 500 plus yards as well. It was a high scoring game in that week 1 matchup. 3rd and 5 from the 38. Fournette to his left side, pass is caught. It's like that's going to be enough for a first down.
That pass complete to Riley Weinstein.
Weinstein on the catch. He's had some passes thrown at him earlier, but was not able to make the catch. Finally grabs this one and then moves the chain. Ball's going to be at the 46, first down, just underway here in the second quarter. Vikings looking to put some points on the board. Shutout in the first quarter. Fournette hands off to Samples. Up the middle, looks like going to be just a couple yards gain. In that first quarter, Jaguars 4 first downs. 3 of them came off passing plays. 1 of them was rushing. There were 2 of 3 for third down percentage. Vikings was 40%, 2 of 5. They had that fourth down conversion. But so far, the key point of the game was the turnover, the fumble in the first quarter. Fournette, pass complete. And that'll be another first down again. Owen Tomich had a big game last week. So we have a replay of that last catch. Get another first down. The Vikings actually had the ball more in the first quarter. Time of possession was in favor of Long Beach. But we've seen Southwestern put up big points fast, as we saw in that first possession. Fournette will hand off here on first down. And that looks like it's Lodge Hodge on the carry.
Lyndon Hodge with the carry. Nico Taha makes the stop.
Picked up, makes a stop. So it'll be second down.
Second and
Ball's on the
6.
Jaguars side of the field. So far, Fournette came in the first quarter in place of Wyatt McCauley. He only played one possession, and that was in the opening quarter. He's been out on the sideline since. Fournette will throw on second down. Quick pass screen complete. Samples to the 30. Has blockers inside the 20. Out of bounds at about the 19. So he turns on the speeds. That's going to be another first down for the Vikings.
Elijah Gutierrez makes the stop.
We have a replay of that last play. Again, look at the screen. See the lineman going downfield, and Samples gets past one guy, has his blockers, passes the 20, and goes out of bounds. Again, moving the ball efficiency. Vikings have done that so far in this quarter, on this drive. Fournette so far is 7 of 9 for 56 yards. So he's got impressive numbers coming in off the bench. Fournette has time now. He runs. And he's tackled at about the 14, 13-yard line. So Fournette with his first carry of the game. So far, Devin Samples, a running back, leading the way for the Vikings, rushing 7 rushes for 20 yards. Lyndon Hodge has come in the first quarter. He has 5 rushes for 17 yards. Justin Austin is the leading receiver for the Vikings, 3 catches for 29 yards in that first quarter. Owen Talmadge, who we mentioned had a big game last week, 3 catches, 23 yards. Handoff on Samples, gets away from one tackle. And the ball came out. Jaguars are saying that they have it. Let's see what they call, and they do. Another turnover. Fournette was saying that Samples was down. Let's take another look here. Another turnover inside the red zone. Did that ball come out? Can't see from that angle, but the ball's already on the ground. But the question was Samples down prior to that ball coming out? Now we know that there is no instant replays here in the SCFA. But you wonder if there was an opportunity to challenge that call. There was. On first down, Jaguars take advantage of the turnover. Khalid Blocker showing why he had 2 touchdowns in that big win last week against Orange Coast.
Holding. Offense, number 55. Half this to go. Replay first down.
And that's not going to matter. That's going to come back. Holding on the offense. And that's going to put them deep into their own territory. It's like it's going to be at the 5. So they try to capitalize on that turnover, but the penalty negates the first down run. So instead of being first and 10 around the 20, it's now first and 15 from the 5. Let's see, the Vikings will show some pressure on defense, try to get a safety or cause a turnover. There was a controversial turnover last week. And Blocker again. There was a controversial touchdown last week against the Eagles for the Vikings. They had a touchdown, looks like on a blocked punt, but a penalty negated it. So they're hoping they can get an opportunity to capitalize on a turnover deep in the Jaguars' territory. 2nd and 14 from the 6. Ty will throw to the right side and incomplete, a little bit of contact, but no marker. Intended receiver for that pass was Israel Evans, number 88. He had 2 touchdowns in the win last week, 84 yards reception. So he was short of 100 yards. Let's take a look at the replay of the last pass. A little bit of contact there, but not enough to draw the marker. So quick 3rd and 14 from the 6. Vikings hoping to force a 3 and out. Here the Jaguars want to be careful not to commit a turnover or anything near your end zone. Ty will throw. Here comes the pressure. He gets away. Now he throws to his left side. Overthrows his intended receiver. A.J. Perry, the intended receiver. So it'll be a 3 and out for the Vikings defense. If you take a look at the last replay, you see the pressure coming. Ty was able to get out of there. Throws it. Contact was made after the throw, but no penalty. Owen Tomic standing at his 42-yard line. Here's the punt. Clean getaway. And it's going to take a little bit of a Jaguar bounce at the 38-yard line. So the Jaguars unable to do anything with that last turnover. Vikings defense get a 3 and out. 8:41 remaining in the first half. The score is 14-0 Jaguars. Again, going to go 3-0 under first-year head coach Oscar Rodriguez. Vikings trying to get off the schneid and get their first win. They came in at 0-2. Would like to get a win here before they head off to the road next Saturday at Saddleback. First and 10. Fournette in at quarterback. And he's going to play keep with it. And he's going to get a good yard. A penalty marker comes in at the end of the play. This might be a late hit.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
The Jaguars a little excited. Gets called for offsides. So that'll restart the ball near the 38. It'll be first down and 5 to the 33. Vikings trying to get on the scoreboard. 4 wide receivers. Fournette throws on first down. That's tipped. Incomplete. Intended for Austin. Austin took a hit to the back right when a pass came past him. So we take a look at the replay. Play action. It's going for Austin, and that pass was tipped. You see the hit there on Austin. So we return back to live action. Omero Inda was the one that made the hit. Had a little bit of exchange after that. Low snap, pass, complete. It's to Austin. And they're going to give it to him. So Austin with another reception. And that's enough for a first down, thanks to the offsides penalty by the Jaguars. So now the Vikings are inside the 25, looking to get their first score of the game. 7:53 and counting. See at the top right of your screen, the clock continues to move. First and 10. Ooh, trying to go the hard count. Fournette can't get away this time. Carson Curtis on the sack. Fournette explaining to the sideline what happened there. Have another replay. Carson Curtis, number 40. Just check how he gets past. Fournette did not see him. Another sack by this Jaguars defense. So they'll move the ball back to the 32-yard line. Loss of 7 on that sack. Fournette throws, and that is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Dax Munstime, the defensive line out of Athens, Arizona. Let's take a look at a replay. Watch 93. Just puts his hands up at the right time. So it'll be 3rd and 17 from the Jaguar 32-yard line. Three wide receivers for the Vikings. A 4-3 defense by the Jaguars. Could show some pressure. Fournette. Pressure is there. He gets away. Now he takes off. Takes off to the 20. Can't stay in bounds. But he's near that first down line. It's 3rd and 17. He needed 17. So we take a look at the replay. Watch Fournette just gets away from the pressure. Thought it was almost a sack, but he was able to take away from it. He needed 17. He got 15. So he's unable to stay in bounds to get those last 2 yards. And it looks like the Vikings are going to go for it. They did have a 4th down conversion earlier, and they went for it, and they got it. Looking to get their second one on this drive. 4th and 2. Fournette, he's going to run with it. He'll be tackled inside the 15 to the 13, and that might be enough to move the chains. And they are going to give it to him. 1st down. Fournette using his legs again. Take another look at that 4th down conversion. Again, good protection there by the Vikings offense. And Fournette saw the room, said he needed 2 yards. Takes it himself. Coming up on the 6-minute mark here in the first half. Vikings have 2 timeouts. 1st and 10. And Samples on the carry. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's a Hodge. Hodge carries it on 1st down.
Lyndon Hodge with the carry. He himself makes the stop.
Hodge has 5 carries, 17 yards so far this afternoon. Fournette has so far 6 rushes for 23 yards. You saw a little bit of those rushing yards here on this drive. From the 13, 2nd and 9. Fournette is going to throw. No, he gets away. Almost lost the ball, but stays with it. And he will be tackled down at the 11, and he loses his helmet. Actually, both players on both sides lost a helmet.
Long Beach number 1 has to go out for 1 play.
And because he lost his
Southwestern
helmet,
number 99 has to go out for 1 play.
because he lost his helmet, he has to step out for a play. And that goes the same for the Jaguars. Joshua Clinton, he lost his helmet, so now he has to go out for a play. So Macaulay, who hasn't played since the 1st quarter, has to come in for a play because Fournette lost his helmet. And now he's going to roll to his left. Throws towards the end zone, incomplete. Now Fournette will come back in. If you're not familiar with the rules, if you lose your helmet in play, you have to come out for 1 play. So that's why both players on both sides had to come out for a play, because they lost their helmets. That was 3rd down, so now the Vikings will go for a field goal. It's field goal attempt. And he hits it through the middle. No good. He missed it. So the Vikings come away with no points. After that impressive drive they've shown this afternoon, they come up empty. So with 4:44 remaining in the first half, the score remains at 14-0. That's got to be a heartbreaker there for the Vikings. Put up their best drive, but they came away with empty points, and that was a 10-play, 26-yard drive. And that ate up almost 5 minutes of the clock. So Jaguars will get the ball back. And they also have 2 timeouts remaining in the half. As that first down carry by Fan.
Jamari Ashby Fan with the carry. Paul Kwame makes the stop.
So just a 1-yard gain on that first down. It'll be second down and 9. Jaguars looking to add more points before the half. They did defer, so they'll get the ball to start off the second half. Ty's going to throw on first down. And he's going to get away. Picks up a couple extra yards. That will set up third down for the Jaguars offense.
Reagan Silver with the keeper. Paul Kwame makes the stop. Gain of 4, 3rd and 5.
Be third down for the Vikings. Third down pass is complete, wide open to the 30, 35, down close to the 40. And that's Fan on the catch.
Pass complete to Jamari Ashby Fan. Alex Boulivanos makes the stop. 1st and 10 Jaguars. Ball at their own 40.
So they're going to no huddle offense. And the penalty marker comes in. See what they call here.
Mother trucker, dude. False start. Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So a false start is going to set them 5 yards back. See the Vikings offense had momentum on that last drive. Missed a field goal, so they came up empty on the last drive. So it'll be 1st and 15. Silver throws. Pass is caught by Jefferson. And they're going to go on a no huddle. Preserve those 2 timeouts. They still have that 2-minute timeout coming up, but looks like they want to get farther before that. Gets away. Now he throws at the last minute. Pass is caught. Jefferson. Good gainage there to the 35. Silver exactly quick escaped the pass rush. Able to throw it up the middle. And it looks like they might just let this go down to that 2-minute timeout. They still have 2 timeouts left. And we reached that
2-minute timeout.
So the 2-minute timeout, 2 minutes left in the first half. The score is 14-0. Jaguars looking to add more points. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter. So big 2 minutes here for the Vikings, down 14-0. I'm sure they're saying on defense they have to at least hold them to a field goal or nothing at all. Do not want to go down to the locker room at halftime down 3 scores. Here's the last replay. Watch Silver, the quarterback, 18. Just stays in that pocket and then just barely gets away. He just makes the throw at the last second. LeVar Taylor almost had him too. See Jefferson down to the 35, so they have an opportunity to get a touchdown or at least a field goal. And they have 2 timeouts left, so see how they'll use this clock management. So we see the Vikings defense huddling up, discussing what to do next. And both teams are coming back out after the 2-minute timeout. Play will resume. It'll be first down and 10 from the 35-yard line. We thank you guys for joining us here on Viking Sports this afternoon for week 3 of the 2025 season between the Jaguars and the Vikings. First and 10, Vikings show pressure. Silver throws to the left side, one-on-one. Oh, did he make? Nope, incomplete. Pass intended for 84.
That pass incomplete, intended
For Clint Thomas Jr.
Williams
We take a look at that last pass. Going for it all. Silver went through the deep pass, unable to make the catch. If I didn't know any better, that last pass was like something Peyton Manning throws too. He's wearing the same number as Peyton Manning. Second and 10. It's like Fan on the carry. Pick up a couple yards. So it'll be third down coming up for the Jaguars.
Brady Smith with the stop. 3rd and 1.
Third and 1 coming for this Jaguars offense, and pass looks like it's incomplete. Jefferson. So it'll be 4th and 1 from the 26, clock ticking from the 32.
That pass complete.
And it looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
4th and 3.
Silver. It's going to go on 4th down. Throws to the right side, has nobody open. They're incomplete, so the ball will go over to the Vikings offense. And they'll have 50 seconds left with 2 timeouts. So the Jaguars decided not to go for the field goal. They went for it on 4th down and they came up empty. So the big pass by Jefferson goes for naught. So we take a look at that 4th down conversion. He's Silver. It's like he was pressure there a little bit. And he did have an open man. Tyler Becker was the intended receiver, but he was about 5-6 yards away from the pass. So Fournette, quick pass off the fingertips of Tomic, incomplete. For Brayton Silver, he's got some good numbers here. 7 of 14 for 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last week he was 9 of 11 for 133 and had a touchdown. .47 seconds to go. Pass is caught. And looks like they're going to go on a no huddle here.
That
Pass complete to Kyle Brown.
Gain of 4,
And
third and
looks like
6.
the clock is ticking. Vikings might just let this go into the half, down 14. Try to regroup. Clock at 13. 12, 11, still counting down. Might be the last play of the half, or they might just call a timeout, have one more play. Coming on 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and that'll be it. So the first half is over. Vikings shutout in the first half. So we played 30 minutes so far this afternoon. The halftime score is 14-0 Jaguars. They'll get the ball to start the second half. So we'll break for this halftime, and we'll be back for the start of the second half. And welcome back to Veterans Stadium here at Long Beach City College as we get set for the second half kickoff here. Score 14-0 Jaguars. And we take a look at some first half stats here. Vikings ran more plays than the Jaguars, 41-24. Total yard is almost even up, 149 to 165 in favor of the Jaguars. But the key element here in this game so far has been the turnovers. Vikings lost 2 fumbles in the first half, which led to 2 touchdowns by this Jaguars offense. So see if the Vikings are able to control the turnover situation. They had 4 last week against the Eagles. And so far they had 2 here this afternoon. So we get set for the second half kickoff. Weather conditions 77 degrees, so the sun's come out and picked up by the Jaguars and takes it near the 40-yard line. And it looks like that is Nick Klein on the return. Vikings shut out in that first half. Again, had opportunities to score in the first half, but turnovers has really hurt this squad this afternoon. So the ball will be at the 39-yard line. The Jaguars will come back out on offense. 1st and 10 from the 39. So we're going to run on 1st down. And a little bit of extra going on after. It looks like that's Fan on the carry. And motion's starting to get a little crazy here. And the Jaguars are going to go on a no-huddle offense to start this third quarter. Fan again. This time he gets close to that 1st down marker, but has not gone over it. Brayton Silver, the quarterback, 2 touchdowns in that first half. Looking to add more to those stats. Be 3rd down here for the Jaguars. And Fan's going to carry it. This time he gets the 1st down with a little bit more. Ball in Viking territory. So it'll be 1st down for the Jaguars. Jaguars looking to go 3-0 on the season. Meanwhile, the Vikings trying to get their first win of the season. So far, opportunities have been the reason that the Jaguars have been up. It's like Fan's going to carry this and carrying it with aggression. It's like picks up 12. It'll be another 1st down for the Jaguars. So now they're in Viking territory. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. Fan, 7 carries, 37 yards so far this afternoon. Vikings bring pressure, and they'll give it to Fan again. This time he gets it open, stays on his feet. Inside the 15 to the 12. And the Jaguars coming out aggressively to start this 3rd quarter. Let's take a look at the replay of that last run. Here's Fan, gets away from one guy, turns on the Jets, gets away from another Viking. Chase was on. Placed the ball at the 12-yard line as we return to live action. Jaguars looking to punch it in for the 3rd time. Jefferson in motion. And again, they'll give it to Fan. And Fan up the middle, stays on his feet. Inside the goal line to the 2, close to the 1. It's Fan again, another rush. As he's getting close, 200 yards rushing. No huddle here. They'll give it to him, and no, this time the quarterback keeper, and he takes it in for the touchdown. Brayton Silber, the quarterback. Little Peyton Manning like right there. He gets his touchdown. His third touchdown of the afternoon. Threw for 2 touchdowns in the first half. Now he has a rush touchdown as we take a look at the replay. Fan on the fake handoff, but Silber keeps it himself and he takes it in. And that brings the score to 20-0 with the extra point coming up. And that kick is good. So the Jaguars came out swinging on that first possession here in the second half. Just underway, 11:47 remaining in the third quarter. The score is 21-0 in favor of Southwestern. As they look to stay undefeated this season. Here's a replay of that touchdown. Again, fake handoff. The quarterback draw and the defense bid on it. As you see, Silber just runs it in. No difficulties there. The Vikings falling behind more, down 21. Scored this in the first half, and now they are down to another score. And they'll get this ball back, and they'll go to work. And here is the kickoff. Strong kick, and it's going to go in the end zone for a touchback. Ball will be placed at about the 20. The Vikings will get the first possession of the second half. And Alan Fournette will come out. Alan Fournette came in the first quarter after Wyatt McCauley fumbled on the first possession for the Vikings. He came in the second quarter because Fournette lost his helmet, so he had to go out for one play. But it's been Fournette since, and his numbers, 8 of 12 for 64 yards in that first half. He also has 7 carries for 24 yards rushing. And he'll throw on first down. Pass is caught to Austin. Austin gets away and a little bit of a push. Pushes him past the markers, and that's going to be another first down for the Vikings. So we take a look at a replay of that last pass. See Fournette, quick draw, no step back, just threw it. Austin has it here, and just watch near the end here. That little push just pushed him over that marker, so it'll be a first down as we return to live action. Fournette will throw, looks to his right. Now he rolls to his right, staying there. Now he's just going to run it 40, out of bounds at the 42. So he'll pick up about 4 yards, close to 4 yards on that run. They'll spot him at the 37. So they'll give him a 5-yard gain as we take a look at replay. He escapes the pressure. Looked like he was going to throw it, but decides to keep it at the last minute. It was a good call. He got himself 5 yards rushing. Now adds to 29 yards for the game. 2nd and 5. And he'll hand off to Samples, and he gets a little bit of a gainage on the right side, and the penalty marker comes in right after. A flag came in right just as the play ended. And we'll see who is this on.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds, number 45. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's going to go on the Jaguars. Elijah Dennis, defensive lineman, guilty of that. A late hit after. I mentioned our referee today, Tony Clayton, with the call. So that's going to give the Vikings another first down, and now the ball's at the Jaguar 41-yard line. The Jaguars just letting the Vikings hang in there a little bit with these penalties. So ball at the 41 following the penalty. Fournette on shotgun. This time he hands out to Samples, and Samples is not going to go anywhere. He ran into a huge wall of Jaguar defensive linemen and no gain, so they'll stay where they're at. So it'll be second down here for the Vikings. Mentioned 0-2 coming into this game this afternoon. 0-2 for the third year in a row. We saw them last year start 0-2, won 5 straight, ended up finishing the season at 6-5. Missing out on the playoffs. Fournette throws, pass is caught. Short gain there for the Vikings. Pass is caught by the receiver 86. Kyle Brown, the tight end, sophomore out of South High School in Torrance. Looks like that's his second catch of the afternoon. So 3rd and 11 from the 43. Fournette will throws to the right side, pass is caught. I believe that's Brown again. And let's see where they'll mark this. And that's going to be a first down for the Vikings. Brown with his 3rd reception of the afternoon. 1st and 10 from the 31. Vikings looking to get some points on the board for the first time. On that hard count, Fournette will throw. Now he gets away, still rolling to his left. Now he throws, pass complete. Looks like that's Austin on the reception, and it is. And that's going to be enough for another Viking first down. See, for as we look at the replay, Fournette getting close to that 100-yard passing. Again, rolls to his left, does a good job getting away from the defenders, the defensive lineman. Finds Austin on the left side as we return to live action. From the 14. Tomic in motion. Hand out to Samples. And he gets a quick burst on first down. Vikings have been in this area twice this afternoon. The last time they were near the end zone, they fumbled it. Hoping to at least get some points in this 3rd quarter. Down 21. See the clock coming down, 7:13 remaining in this 3rd quarter. This time they'll go with 2 wide receivers. Looks like a double tight end set. Fournette will throw. Pass to the end zone. A lot of contact. And there's the marker. Tomic is the intended receiver. He was going toe-to-toe with Gutierrez. Let's see who they'll call this one on, and this one might come back. If it's on the Vikings, it's going to back them up a couple yards. Looking at the linesman.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 3. Penalty occurred in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, it's going to be at the 2-yard line. As we see a replay of the contact between both players. Penalty on Gutierrez. So they'll have it at the, looks like at the 2-yard line as we return to live action. 1st and goal. They're actually going to mark it at the 3. Here's Samples trying to get into the end zone. Very easy rush there. Touchdown, Vikings. Devin Samples. As we hear the famous Viking bell here at Veterans Stadium. And the Vikings are on the board for the first time this afternoon. We have a replay of the touchdown run by Samples. Give credit to the lineman. They left that hole open for him, and all he had to do was just go through there. Show the football a little bit just to confirm he got a touchdown. So the score stands at 21-6. Point after is good. So the Vikings, after struggling to get points in the first half, finally hit the end zone today. 6:53 remaining in the third quarter, and the score is Jaguars 21, Vikings 7. So we give you another replay of the touchdown, courtesy of our crew, students in the television department here at Long Beach City College. Again, great work there by the Vikings offense. Open up the hole big for number 6. And on that last drive, 75 yards in 10 plays. Almost six minutes, close to 7 minutes on that last drive. So they drained a little bit of that clock. As we take a look at our Viking cheerleaders performing. So penalties as well assisted the Vikings on that last drive. Sure, the coaching staff on the Jaguar side will have to talk to them about that. The personal foul that kept the drive going, and then the pass interference call that set up the 1st and goal. As we see the Jaguars returning this to about the 32-yard line. A little bit of extra activity after. The returner for the Jaguars, number 87. Danhan Goins. Here come the Jaguars offense. Came up empty in their first possession, or actually got a touchdown score in the last possession. Looking for more. You see Jefferson in motion. First down pass, or run. That's Blocker. He had a great first half as well. Quick huddle. You see Blocker again to the left side. Near the 50. Seen the Jaguars run no huddle offense in the first half. And normally offenses will do that to confuse the defense, as we have a replay of that last run. See Blocker listening to his blockers, looking for the open lane. That's a first down as we return to live action. 4 wide receivers. It's time to throw, complete. Blocker, he runs into his own guy, but able to come up with more yardage. As that last pass by Silver, quick pass to Blocker. Again, he ran into his lineman, as it looks like Blocker's going to come out. So we take a look at the replay. Watch Blocker 24. See a quick pass. Pass caught and ran into a Jaguar and a Viking. Still able to gain a couple yardage on offense. So we return back to live action. It's like Fan on the carry. Blocker's numbers in the first half, 4 carries, 26 yards. And that was his first reception of the afternoon. 1 catch for 6 yards. As you see Fan, as he reaches towards the 100 yards. Again, a no-huddle offense. Fan again carrying the ball. So it would be 3rd and 2 from the 43.
Illegal substitution on the defense. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
The Vikings are called by an illegal substitution. They'll decline it, and it'll be a first down. So the Jaguars looking to answer back after the Vikings' 10-play drive resulted in the touchdown. Ball is now placed at the 43. Be first down. Silver from the shotgun position. And he's going to hand out to Fan. And this time he'll pick up about 3 yards. Gonna give him 2 yards on that gain. Vikings trying to get back in this game, trying to secure a win before they hit the road next Saturday when they travel to Saddleback. Their second home game back-to-back. Silver will throw, intended for Fan, incomplete. So it'll be third down. So far, Silver is 8 of 15 for 118. So he just passed the 100-yard mark. You see Fan's numbers, 13 rushes, 94 yards. He's getting close to 100 yards. So far, Blocker hasn't been much on the offense, only 26 yards rushing after he had 100 yards last week against Orange Coast. So it'll be third down. 4 receivers for the Jaguars. Vikings looks like they might show pressure. No, they do not. Silver will throw on third down. Pass is caught, and that's going to be a first down. Clint Thomas, who had the first touchdown caught in the first quarter. He's the leading receiver for this Jaguar offense. This is, I believe, his third reception of the afternoon. As we come up on 3 minutes and 40 and counting here in the third quarter. Week 3 of the 2025 season for your Vikings. Fan actually has Blocker in. And not going to go very far. So it'll be second down and 7, coming up on 3 minutes in this fast-paced third quarter. And remember, we just started this half not too long ago, but now we're getting close to the end of the third quarter. It's a fast pace here for both teams on offense. Jefferson's going to go in motion. Silver will throw. Throws towards the middle and has an open receiver. I think that's Thomas, the intended receiver. So it's incomplete. And Thomas was the intended receiver. So we take a look at that last pass. Silver looking for the middle. He sees him, tries to throw the ball to him, but it looks like he may have thrown it a little too early there as the ball went past him. As come back to live action. 3rd and 7 from the 21. And they'll throw. And looks like that may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage or deflected. The Vikings get a 3 and out on defense. Who's that at Hargrove, number 8? We have a replay here. See, was this tipped? That was tipped right when he threw it. So Bryce Morgan's going to get credit for that tip. So we're going to have a field goal attempt. Jaguars looking to add to that lead. So we'll put them up by 17. Here's a field goal attempt. Kick is up. And it looks like he hits the middle, and it's good. So the Jaguars walk away with points. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The score now is at the Jaguars 24, Vikings 7. So the Vikings did hold them to 3 points. Able to draw the offense off the field. That last play by the Jaguars, they went 11 plays, 48 yards, and looks like it was about almost 4 or 5 minutes on that clock that they took off. So we're seeing some drives that are going 5-6 minutes, especially on the scoring drives. So we get set here for the kickoff. Vikings will get the ball. And here's the kick. That one is going to sail again into the end zone, so another touchback. The Vikings will get the ball at the 30 to start this next drive on offense. See the Vikings offense planning what they're going to do on this drive. Jaguar defense is already on the field as they get set up. And here they come. And it looks like it's going to be Austin Fournette for the rest of the game. Fournette numbers so far, 12 of 17 for 104 yards passing. He also has 29 yards, and first down they'll give it to Samples. And again, the Jaguars defense there to introduce themselves.
Devin Samples with the carry, then first by Nate Joseph.
So that's going to be a loss of 2.
Second and 12.
So far, the Vikings rushing offense hasn't really put up a lot of numbers. Individual numbers are good. Fournette has 29, and Samples has 30. He has 32, but that last run is going to put him down to 30 yards rushing on 13 attempts. Fournette on second down looks to his right. Now he throws the middle, and that pass is tipped. Tipped by Jacob Sersansi, the linebacker, number 15. It's going to be a quick third down. Minute 52 remaining in the third. Vikings actually trying to improve on their second half scoring. Last week they were outscored in the second half by the Eagles. And so far they've only been able to put up 7 points just here in the third quarter. Empty backfield. Fournette still looking, throws up the middle, pass is caught. Owen Tomic, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
That pass from Nate.
So Tomic, who actually has had a great game last Saturday, so far has been in check here. That's his 4th catch of the second half. So we see the last pass completion again up the middle. Vikings might want to look to get him the ball more as we return to live action. Samples on first down. Oh no, it's a play action pass, and pass is incomplete, tipped. That'll be second down.
That pass incomplete, intended for Justin Austin.
So we mentioned Tomic had 9 catches, 178 yards last week. So far this afternoon, he's been held to 4 receptions for 40 yards. Justin Austin is the leading receiver for the Vikings, 6 catches, 66 yards. Second down, Fournette throws with the pressure coming, and there's Tomic again, and he's able to hold on. And that's going to move the chains again, another first down catch.
11-yard gain and a first down, Vikings.
So the ball will be moved, and we're coming up on a minute here in the third as we look at that last replay. Threw it close to double coverage, but able to make the catch. Back live. You see the hard count attempt. Fournette's gonna throw. Throws to the middle. Has a receiver complete. That's Robinson.
That pass complete, Hezekiah
Robinson on the reception.
for another first down, Vikings.
And he only had 1 catch in the first half. That's his 2nd catch of the game. Good enough for a first down. Coming up near the end of the third quarter. Fournette Now throws deep. Off the hands of Tommy. Incomplete. Looking for his 6th catch of the game. And it'll be 2nd down from the 36. About 21 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's a fast-going 3rd quarter. Play action. Tomic again on the reception to the 20. Stays on his feet. Still on his feet. Down to inside the 15-yard line. That's going to be another 1st down as we wind down here in the 3rd quarter. And let's see if they'll be able to get one play off, or they'll just call it and wait till the 4th quarter to begin. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. So we played 3 quarters, 15 minutes to go. Right now the score stands at the score 24 Jaguars, Vikings 7. So you look at the last catch by Owen Tomic as he's starting to turn up the heat on the defense. As we get set to start the 4th, both teams switching sides. Again, we thank you for tuning here on Viking Sports. This is week 3 of the 2025 Vikings football season. Long Beach coming in at a record of 0-2. Looking to get their first win before they go off to Saddleback next Saturday. Meanwhile, the Jaguars, they're trying to go to 3-0 under rookie head coach Oscar Rodriguez. His first season. So we take a look at the Long Beach cheerleaders. Some quick stats for your Vikings. Fournette, who's played since the 1st quarter, 16-24, 165. Demis Samples continues to lead the Vikings in rushing, 13 carries, 30 yards. Owen Thomas just became tied with Justin Austin for the most catches. He's got 71 yards rushing. Austin has 66 yards receiving. As we begin the 4th quarter, Vikings trying to make a comeback, get win number 1. Fournette throws to the left side, complete, and that's complete by the tight end. That's Kyle Brown. So that's his 4th catch of the afternoon. Be 2nd and 5. Pick up 5 yards. Vikings trying to get a quick score. That field will make the difference because right now it's a 3-possession game. Here they come. Fournette throws towards the end zone and off the hands of Tommy. Try to do the one-hand grab. Cannot bring it in. Regardless if the Vikings score now, whether a touchdown or field goal, as we see a replay, it will still be a 2-possession game. A field goal will bring them down to 14, but a touchdown will bring it in within 10. So you want to get points regardless on this drive to draw close. It looks like Robinson's checking in for the Vikings on wide receiver. Last minute substitution by the Jaguars. And what was the timeout called?
Timeout. Long Beach. That's their first charge timeout of the 2nd half.
So the Vikings are going to take their first timeout of the 2nd half. So we have a stoppage in play, 14:23 to go in the game. Score is 24-7 Jaguars. We look at the score so far. Vikings defense, as we take a look at that last play. See the last pass. It's Brown. Kyle Brown with his 4th reception. We look at the Vikings defense, and they gave up a lot of points in the first 2 games to Riverside and to the Eagles. So far this afternoon, they've only given up 24 points, so that's a big improvement from the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the offense hasn't scored much points in the last 2 weeks, 27 points total. They scored more points against Riverside in that loss in week 1. Put up 30 points in week 1. They put up 20 last week. So far, they put up 7 this afternoon. Fournette is going to go down. And that's a big sack there by the Jaguars. Nick Joseph, the defensive lineman, coming in with the key sack as we take another look. Watch 52. He got through his blocker. A little bit of Ray Lewis there. And that actually was a 4th down. Scoreboard said it was 3rd down, but it was a 4th down, so the Vikings are going to come out with nothing on that drive. So now the Jaguars have an opportunity to get a score and possibly seal this game. First down run there by Blocker. So the Vikings try to risk it, try to get a touchdown. As we mentioned before, a field goal would have brought them within 14. That would have been down 2 touchdowns. But they came away empty on that drive. So the time factor might start playing effect. 2nd down. Silber will run. Now he throws, and pass is caught by Jefferson, and he's wide open in Viking territory. Big play there by the Jaguars. Jefferson on the play. And those two have been hooking up well this afternoon as we look at the replay. Silber just gets away from a tackler and just throws it. And again, you got to credit Jefferson for staying with it and wide open. No contact was made till after about 15 yards. So a big play from their own territory now on Vikings side on the 35. Blocker will get it here. But he's met by a couple of Viking defenders. So that last catch by Jefferson, the longest of the afternoon, 47 yards. And he's getting close to 100 yards. 5 catches for 86 yards, and he's had a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, for Khalid Blocker, that's his 7th carry. And that puts him up to 30 yards rushing. And it looks like Blocker is still in. 2nd and 9. Vikings show a little pressure. Screen. Here's Blocker, wide open, gets away from one guy. He has someone in front of him to the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Jaguars. Silber with the screen, and the Jaguars were prepared for it. And another touchdown pass, and meanwhile we have an injured Viking on the field. The 34-yard reception on the screen by Khalid Blocker. No, he has 40 yards receiving. So we're trying to see who the injured player is for the Vikings, and looks like that's Alex Kolovatos. So we take a look at the replay again. Wide open. Blocker was there. No Viking nearby, and you see the blocking. Again, nothing the Vikings could do there except watch blocker get into the end zone. So the Jaguars' opportunity to add to their lead and possibly close this game. It's now 30-7 with the extra point coming up. Kick is good. So with 11:55 remaining in the ball game, the score is Jaguars 31, Vikings 7. That last drive, 4 plays, 82 yards. So we take a look at the replay of the screen. Again, watch blocker 24. Nobody within his distance. There is a defender, but able to get past. And you see looks like he had Clint with him, and nothing they could do on defense. So 4 plays, 82 yards, 3 minutes off the clock. And so far it's been all Jaguars, up 31-7. We get set for the kickoff. And that looks like that's gonna go. No, it looks like nobody has picked it up yet. Now there's a battle for it. And the Jaguars might have come up with this. Let's take a look at the replay. Vikings thought this was gonna go out of bounds, but that friendly bounce kept it inbounds. That ball's down at the 15-yard line. Very fortunate that the Vikings did not touch that ball. It would have been a live ball, and it would have been the Jaguars' ball. The Vikings will go to work. Down 31-7. Fournette will throw on first down. Pass caught and a hit at the end. Jeremiah Jones with the hit on Austin. And that Jaguar silent, very excited. Take a look at the replay. Watch 7 here. Jones on the hit. And that really lightened up that Jaguar silent as we return to live action. Fournette will throw on second down. Pass is caught. Brown trying to get past that marker. See if they'll give him the mark to get the first down. Kyle Brown with the reception. And it looks like it's going to be short. So that brings 3rd and 1. Fournette will throw. Now he gets away, rolls to his left, directing traffic, going deep. Pass is caught. Robinson. And that's going to move the chains. So we take a look at a replay from that last pass. Fournette looking to his left. You see pointing, and he throws it. Robinson with the completion as we return to live action. Looks like that's Michael Wilson. So they get 9 yards on that drive or that play. They'll bring up 2nd down, and Fournette going deep. Incomplete, contact. Both players able to get up. Brough, the intended receiver. And that brings up 3rd down for the Vikings.
Intended for Kyle Brown. Devontae Buchanan in coverage. 3rd and 1.
Fournette's numbers so far this afternoon, 21 of 31 for 211. And they'll run it here on 3rd down, and I don't think they're going to get it. Hodge on the carry, but it looks like he's been denied.
Lyndon Hodge with the carry. Jackson on his feet.
So they're going to lose a yard.
Making the stop.
That'll bring up 4th down.
Loss of 1. 4th and 2.
The Vikings will go for it. 4th and 2 from the 45. Vikings to get touchdown. Man in motion. That's Robinson in motion. Fournette will throw. Now he rolls to his right and he overthrows his receiver. Incomplete, and the ball will go back to the Jaguars. It's like Wilson was the intended receiver. So another drive stalled, and the Jaguars will have the ball at the 45, looking to put this game away. So you have a replay of that 4th down. See, Fournette throws, and not sure if he was able to run the ball. So return to live action. Now the Jaguars have an opportunity to close this game. Up 31-7. 1st down carry. Nowhere to go. Looks like that's a new running back we're seeing in the game for the Jaguars. 38, Mo Oldenai. And he's listed as a defensive back. It's going to be a loss of 3. Second and 13 from the 42. Hand off again. Contact after. Still on his feet. I'm sorry, it looks like that's Jamar Johnson who's a running back. 39, not 38. My apologies. Looked like a 38, but it's a 39, so that's him. So it'll be 3rd and 12 as he comes out. And it looks like Fan is coming back in. Fan is close to 100 yards rushing. See if they'll give the ball to him. Try to break the century mark. Clock ticking, 7:46 and counting. If it stands the way it stands now, the Jaguars will start 3-0 in this season. Vikings will fall to 0-3. Back to throw. Pass caught by Fan. Silber on that last throw. And that's going to be a 3 and out, so the Jaguars will punt. Vikings will be on the road next Saturday against Saddleback. And here's the punt. And fair catch made at the 14. And the Vikings will have the ball back, start their next drive. scoring summary for this game this afternoon. Clint Thomas starts off with a 40-yard touchdown pass from Silber. Later on, Josiah Jefferson, an 11-yard pass from Silber, made it 14-0. And then Silber runs it in by himself to make it 21-0. But the Vikings answer back with a Devin Samples 2-yard run, 21-7. After a field goal, blocker got a 38-yard screen pass, made it 31-7. And that's where we stand as of right now. Meanwhile, first play complete to Austin. And that's going to be second down for the Vikings. Actually, they're going to give them first down. 6:30 and counting here in the game. Fournette now throws deep. Robinson cannot complete the catch. Incomplete. It'll be third down or second down from the 35. So we take a look at that last pass here by Fournette. He's going for the deep ball. See, Robinson almost had it, but just couldn't hold it in. And pass falls incomplete. Fournette will throw. Throw and pass cannot be completed. And that's Austin, the intended receiver.
Long Beach 51 has to go out for one play.
And the Vikings, one of their players have to step out for a play. That's Anthony Perez, the offensive lineman. Here's he may have lost his helmet, so he has to go out for a play.
Third and 10 for the Vikings. Ball at their own 25-yard line.
And the timeout has been called.
Timeout. Long Beach. That's their second charge timeout of the half. They have one timeout remaining.
So the Vikings are going to use their second timeout in the second half, and they'll have one remaining, down 31-7. We mentioned that the Vikings will be on the road next Saturday at Saddleback. They're Santa Barbara. They'll be at Santa Barbara next Saturday. Then they'll be back here on the 27th against
Long
Alan
Beach,
Hancock.
number 51, is allowed to come back in the game due to the timeout that was taken.
And because of that timeout, he'll be able to come back in the game. Anthony Perez, who had to go out because of his helmet. Vikings will be at Santa Barbara next Saturday. Then they'll be back here on the 27th to close out September against Alan Hancock at 4 o'clock. Then on the 11th of October, they'll go against Citrus. See Fournette, now he's going deep. Pass is caught by Wilson. Out of bounds near the 15. Michael Wilson haven't much hurt from him this afternoon. Big gain as we take a look at the replay. See Fournette just trying to do something, make something happen, and just throws it up there while on the run, and Wilson gets open. A great play there between quarterback and receiver as we return to live action. Fournette throws, incomplete, but he was trying to reach Wilson again. Vikings will go on the road for the next two games. We mentioned they'll close out September with a home game here against Alan Hancock on the 27th. From the 15, Fournette is going for the end zone. That pass is caught by Tomic, and that'll be a Viking touchdown. We hear the Viking bell. Very interesting celebration there. So we take a look at the replay. See Fournette going for Tomic. Tomic just was holding on to that for dear life. He didn't want to let that go. Here will be the point after attempt. Kick is good. So with 5:27 remaining in the ball game, the score remains 31-14 Vikings. So we take a look at a second look at that reception. See Fournette to Tomic. Touchdown. So we talked about the Vikings' schedule for the month of September, and now we look into October. October 11th will be a 6 p.m. start at Citrus College. Meanwhile, our homecoming, Vikings homecoming game will be October 18th against Santa Ana College. That'll be a 3 p.m. start. On October 23rd, they'll head over to Mount San Antonio College for a matchup against the Mounties. That'll be a 6 p.m. start. And then for November the 1st, they'll be here at Vet Stadium against Ventura. That'll be a 3 p.m. start. And they'll close out the season November 8th at Moorpark College. Onside kick, penalty marker down. And it looks like maybe an offside on the Vikings. Has to go 10 yards before it can be touched. They have a replay of that onside kick. Yeah, it looks like it did go over the 10 yards.
Offside on the kicking team. That penalty will be declined. First down, Southwest.
Southwest will get the ball to start this drive. Offsides on the Vikings. And they'll keep the ball. So with 5:27 left in the game, it'll be 31-14 to score. For the Jaguars, their next game will be next Saturday at home against Mount San Jacinto. Then they'll wrap up September against San Diego Mesa. And then they'll be at Palomar on October 9th. So some big games coming up for the Jaguars as well, for the Vikings as well too. It's that first down run. 5 yards. So the Jaguars are about 4:53 away from starting the season 3-0. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they'll drop to 0-3 to start the season. Here's a run. No, play action pass. Incomplete. Penalty marker is down at the end of the play. We might get the Vikings for a late hit.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And indeed, it was a roughing the passer call on the Vikings, so that's going to move the ball up more for the Jaguars. So the ball will be at the 26 as we show the replay. See, the contact was made way after the pass was thrown. Be a run play. Short gain on first down. Looks like that was Johnson on the carry.
Johnson with the carry, gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
4 minutes coming up. Remaining in this game. Vikings have 1 timeout left. See if they'll use that timeout. Be 2nd and 7. Run play. And looks like these Jaguars have switched quarterbacks. The Ty McCutcheon is actually going to be in right now. So it looks like the Silver's afternoon is done. So final numbers for him: 12 of 22, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns for Brayton Silver. Third and 6 from the 22. Handoff to blocker. And that's pass complete. A penalty marker is down. Some activity going on near the Jaguars sideline. It's like emotions that's really starting to get out of control here. This happened right after the play.
Personal foul, defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Katrin Hargrove accused of personal foul. I'm not sure we have a replay, but that looked like that happened in the middle of the play.
Timeout, Long Beach.
Meanwhile, the Vikings have called their last timeout. It looks like they'll regroup. Let's see, we could see what happened. You watch the top of your screen. It's like a lot of hand contact there, and yeah, it looks like emotions have really gotten out of control. You see Hargrove. Yeah, it looks like all that activity came up on the sideline of the Jaguars. Coaching staff for the Vikings, pretty sure Coach Cooper telling them, have to finish strong and have to play smart. Can't let your emotions get the best of you. So he felt he needed to call that timeout to deliver that message. And you have to be careful too as well in this late stage of the game. You don't want to create a penalty or create a situation where something might go down and you might face a suspension. So it could be very dangerous sometimes when emotions get control. It could lead to events like that, which we don't want to see. Ty's going for the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Jefferson. So it'll be second down from the 9, second and goal. So Fournette actually put up some good numbers this afternoon. So now the question will be for the Vikings, who will start next week when you hit Santa Barbara? It's going to be an interesting week in practice to see who will get the starting role in the quarterback this week. Hand off to Johnson. And he's actually fighting his way to get into that end zone. He's going to be marked down at the 4-yard line. Coming up on 2 minutes, 37 seconds. Vikings don't have any timeouts left. And you see the Jaguars just running this clock down as we take a look at the Vikings coaching staff. Third and goal. Hand off to Johnson. And he's going to be short of the goal line. And he'll be short of the goal line as we hit the 2-minute timeout.
Met first by Anthony Edwards.
2-minute timeout.
And we hit the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. The score is 31-14 in favor of the Jaguars. If we take a look at that last replay. Johnson just short of the goal line. And we'll see if they'll go for it here or kick a field goal. See Coach Oscar Rodriguez in his first season. We mentioned with this Jaguar program. He is also the defensive coordinator for that defense. Again, he is the 12th head coach named in the history of the Jaguars football program. It's going to be off to a 3-0 start to start this season. Meanwhile, you see the Vikings coaching staff. Coach Marcus Cooper in his first season. Team will fall to 0-3 this afternoon. They'll be on the road for their next game before closing the month of September. They'll have a home game against Anna Hancock, which you can watch here on Viking Sports. Your home for the Vikings football home schedules. As we resume play, it'll be 4th and goal from the 1. And it looks like the Jaguar offense is going to stay on the field. 4th and goal. Johnson's going to take it in. Touchdown. So he gets the touchdown after all. And with 1:57 remaining, score now is at 37-14. And they'll line up for the extra points. We take a look at the replay. Got to give credit to that Jaguars offense. They played really well this afternoon. Here's a point after. So now the score with 1:57 remaining. Jaguars 38, Vikings 14. Vikings actually got off to a good start in the beginning of the game with their drive. But turnovers is what hurt the Vikings this afternoon again. They had a sack fumble on their first possession, which led to a touchdown. They had 2 turnovers this afternoon where it led to points. And then the Jaguars offense just kept overpowering with their running game and passing game. So there'll be a lot of work to work with the defense this week in practice with the defense and offense. Last week, this offense put up 20 points. This afternoon, they'll put up 14, bearing if they can get another score in the next minute 57. They don't have their timeout, so they're going to have to work the field fast. As we see the kickoff. Ball's picked up by the Vikings. Well, Desmond Hicks, number 20. He's tackled near the 20, and that's where the Vikings will go to work. Trying to get at least one more touchdown before the game's over. Mentioned this offense put up 30 points in week 1, but allowed more to Riverside. Last week, they put up 20. They allowed 52 to the Eagles. This afternoon, they put up 14, but they've allowed 38 to the Jaguars. So a little bit of improvement from the points allowed compared to the first 2 weeks of the season. Fournette, this time a handoff. It's Mari Conway. First time we see him this afternoon. Looks like the Vikings are just going to run this ball, run out the clock. They don't have any timeouts left. So looks like a new quarterback has come in for the Vikings. Looks like Cade Bodine, number 12, is going to finish the game. As Fournette is going to be finished for the afternoon. And again, the question remains, who's going to be the quarterback next week? With Fournette's numbers, pretty impressive. So that'll be the big question. Long Beach City College fans are going to be wondering this week, who's going to be the starting quarterback next week, next Saturday against Santa Barbara. As we take into the final seconds. While we have this moment, we want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon here on Viking Sports. We also want to thank the students, production, as we see a first down run, our production staff, also Professor Bob Hirsch from the radio and television department here at Long Beach City College for producing this game this afternoon. So I want to thank our students, camera operators, giving you the best shots this afternoon as well. And again, the next Vikings home game will be September 27th against Allen Hancock. Close out the month of September. And you see, oh, he gets away. Now he throws deep. Ball is tipped, incomplete. So a little bit of excitement there on that first pass. Clock will be down to 7 seconds, so the Vikings will have at least one more play. As some of the crowd is starting to exit the stadium. 7 seconds remaining on the clock, so this could be the final play for Bodine at quarterback. Freshman out of Summer High School in Summer, Washington. And they'll run the ball. It's Cooper. And he'll take it to the 48, and that'll do it. Vikings will fall to 0-3. Vikings will fall to 0-3 this afternoon with the final score, Jaguars 38, Vikings 14. Again, our next home game is September 27th against Allen Hancock. For everyone here in our production staff, this is Edward Rentasso signing off for Viking Sports. Thank you for watching this afternoon, and we'll see you next time.